This is Jack from Alpha Charts with a long view video. Before we get started, this video is for educational purposes only, and these are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. Also, if you like these videos, stop right now. Please like and subscribe down below. It really does help me out. I really appreciate everyone that subscribes to my channel. You get alerted when I drop new videos, and again, I do appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to pull up a tweet that I did earlier this week on April 14th. And basically it says, this market is only insanely hard and frustrating if you are stubborn and are sticking to growth tech companies instead of doing the relative strength work and finding what is working in this market. And some examples. And it got, decent amount of people saying they're extended, they're this or that, they're about to crash and all that kind of stuff. And those are the people that are stuck in there growth in tech type of mindset and not going with what is outperforming. So that's what this video is about. It's about finding relative strength on a longer term time frame, right? Especially great for people working full time that can't check the market every day. And again, I'm using ETFs only to help mitigate some of the risks, of single stocks, even though some of them are weighted ETFs, and that's fine. There'll be some risk there, but overall, it's going to minimize the risk of single stocks. And again, it's a trend following relative strength type strategy. My setup is very easy. You have an 8-week EMA, the red line, and you have a 13-week EMA, the green line. It helps with trend and it helps me manage risk, right? And on the bottom, I'm using the Trader Lion relative strength line, and it helps, again, visualize the outperformance, right? This is SPX and this is set to the SPX, which is why it's flat. Okay. And remember, with this relative strength line, it's the direction that matters, not the number. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. Also, last thing is I'm using Trader Sync at the end to manage my personal portfolio and be completely transparent. And so we'll take a look at that when this video is at the end of this video. Okay. So S&P 500, really quick overview. Basically, it doesn't look so hot. It is in a bearish alignment, and the S&P or broader market is in a downtrend. That's what this shows me, right? Potentially even large topping pattern, right? If this breaks down, that could be really nasty. If you like that type of video, state of the market on Saturday mornings, I drop that almost always, and it goes into a lot of intermarket analysis, different ETFs and bonds and sentiment and all kinds of stuff. So check that out if you'd like. All right, well, let's get into this video. So I have a bunch of ETFs that we're going to go over and sectors. First one will be in the energy sector because energy is still going up no matter what people want to say. And XOP is still going up. So this would have been a great buy point, and it's just moving higher, right? Nothing not to like about this. A little bit drop off in volume here, but overall looks great. Again, is it extended? Yeah, it's a little bit extended. Maybe it needs a week or two of rest. Just to shake out somebody or maybe a stick like this, but overall energy or XOP is looking fantastic. OIH had this little consolidation area and broke out again. Volume wasn't quite there this week, but you know what volume wasn't there? Good Friday. It was only a 4-day trading week. Never mind. Yeah, so I'm not worried about volume at all at this point. But anyway, beautiful breakout right here. This is consolidation. We talked about this last week as a great looking setup, and it did pop 3.4% for the week. So huge week for OIH. I always do this every single video. XOP holdings. Here are the holdings. Here are the weightings. So that's XOP, which is this one. And then you have OIH, and let's look at these holdings. Again, different holdings, Schlumberger, Halliburton, Baker Hughes, and here are your weightings here, very heavy on the top two. And let's look at OIH. All right, and there's your breakout right there. So, Schlumberger and Halliburton did really well that week. And IXC, good, we're caught up now. Really important spot right over here. Again, is it extended? Yeah, it's a little bit extended. May need to move sideways or get an inside week or something like that. But overall, it looks pretty good. And there's IXC again, Halliburton and Schlumberger, gigantic pieces of it, right? 44%. So it's very similar to OIH. I'm sorry, this is IXC, XOM, CVX, Shell, and so on and so forth. So yeah, all right. So there you go. Sorry, this video will get better as we go on. Next up is going to be IEZ. Yeah, so this looks very similar to the OIH, right? OIH had Schlumberger Halliburton, and this one has Schlumberger Halliburton as heavy weightings. So very similar looking products, starting to break out, with a little bit of volume, with just breaking out of this range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 week range. So it's nice little bust out. Yeah, looks pretty good. That's IEZ. Next up is PXI. Again, these are all energy names in the energy sector. And PXI is right here, I believe. Yeah. And PXI looks a little bit different. You have natural gas, Range Resources, Antero, Matador, Ovintiv, Targa, and here are their weightings. PXI, again, back to an important spot. It is extended, so I would not be surprised if you have an inside week. That would be really, really strong and get a sideways kind of consolidation, let the moving averages catch up. And the new one this week is EMLP, North American Energy Infrastructure. So these are pipelines and things of that nature. And again, this was the important area. And you see it's been outperforming for a while, but first time it's come on my radar. And so, maybe a little extended here, but again, looks pretty good. And First Trust, so it's this one, and here is the holdings. Again, you see they are, for the most part, people that transport energy, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's EMLP. All right, and those are all of my energy ETFs that are outperforming. Find your spots, pick them. Energy's has been leading, so it's a good idea to be involved in some way in the energy sector. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential ETFs. All right, healthcare has been really doing well as of late, and I have 2 healthcare ETFs that look pretty good. IHF, which is the healthcare providers, and you see the outperformance here. And it did have an inside week to let things kind of catch up, because that was a huge week, not huge, but almost 3%, pulled back almost half of it. And then the moving averages are starting to catch up. Again, is it, huge moves? Yeah, they're not huge moves, but if they're trending right, it'd be awesome, right? And again, the trend looks like it's now aligning and moving higher, and the outperformance is there. So what is in there? It is United Health Group, CVS, Anthem, Cigna, Humana, Centene, HCA. Again, just gigantic big companies that provide healthcare and healthcare providers. Okay, so IHF looks pretty good, and the other one is PPH, which is the pharmaceutical index. And again, there's your outperformance. And what did we say? This was a huge week, almost 5%. And I said we need an inside week. And we did get an inside week to let things catch up. We'll see what happens this week. Would love for it to show a little more weakness in the beginning of the week for an amazing entry. But even now is a pretty good entry spot. I mean, we're talking only 4% away from the 23 EMA. That's not bad at all. Looking at what's in there, again, giant companies, Eli Lilly, AstraZeneca, Novartis, Bristol Myers, Novo Nordisk, Merck, Sanofi, Pfizer, AbbVie, and so on. So really good looking ETF right there, giant people again, and there's safety in that, right? So we're going to be an ETF, which creates safety, so there's no single stock risk, and the ETF is made up of gigantic, large corporations, again, preventing that blow up. I mean, it'd be very unlikely. So that's PPH. Those are healthcare. Staples showed up, but only one ETF showed outperformance, in my opinion. That was PBJ. Again, there's your outperformance. Beautiful uptrend happening, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row. Now, is it extended? Yeah, it's a little bit extended. Doesn't mean it can't stop going up, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see maybe some sideways movement for a week or so. But still, beautiful uptrend. Everything looks good. And in PBJ, we're talking about Archer Daniels, Midland, Constellation Brands, Hershey's, General Mills, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Keurig, Mondelez, and so on. So again, looks great. As far as structurally, it's an uptrend, it's outperforming, it's going from the bottom left to the top right. That's what we're looking for. All right. Now, most of my ETFs will be in the materials XLB. And so let's start that one. GDX. All right, gold miners. I mean, we talked about this cup and handle-ish look, and it hit, obviously. Moved much higher, 3% up week, very nice, good outperformance. Yeah, got a little extended now, so we'll see if it needs to check back or not, or move sideways or inside week or whatever. But this is exactly what we want to see. Looks fantastic. So gold miners, awesome. The juniors, before I do that, don't forget to go into gold miners and Newmont, Barrick Gold, also looks great. Franco Nevada, all these names are in this ETF. And look at these names, because we're going to see them. Like when I go to the next one, which is the junior gold miners, right? And it broke the downtrend line, big up, even bigger than the gold miners themselves. Again, now it's extended. So if we get inside week, that could be a reason to get involved in there. But the uptrend is strong in the juniors. But when you look at it, a lot of the same names, right? The Pan American Silver. When you took over here, Pan American was over here. Again, different weightings, but a lot of the same names. SSRM is in both of them, and AG is in both of them, and I'm sure a bunch of others. So there is overlap in there, is what I'm trying to say. So just be aware of that. But they both look great, and GDXJ. Again, if we get inside week, that could be a really nice setup, and give it time for moving averages to catch up. One of my favorites is this one, GUNR. There's another one called GNR, very similar makeup, but we're just going to look at this one today. Just a beautiful uptrend, right? Beautiful uptrend. There's your outperformance, and again, maybe getting a little bit ahead of itself. We'll see what next week brings, but what's in there is almost like the best of every world, right? This is fertilizers. You have energy names. You have farm names, like in this kind of sector. You have metals and mining in there. You have some gold stocks. So you have a little bit of everything, and you see that's what's working in the market. It's not even touching the 8-week. It just keeps floating higher. So a great looking ETF, one I'm involved with. We'll go over that later. But looks fantastic, right? Just keeps going higher. That's GUNR. VAW. This is a Vanguard materials ETF. And again, one thing that I really liked about this is how the relative strength is breaking out ahead of the ETF. It's a really nice looking ETF right here. Vanguard does theirs a little bit differently. They don't give you what they're actually holding. They show you just aluminum is 1.7, but they don't tell you if it's Alcoa or what it is. So it's all, again, it's what's working. These are what is working. And here are the holdings, top 10 holdings, but they don't give you percentages or anything like that either. Nice looking ETF, some international in there. So there you go. Again, it's Vanguard Materials ETF. Metals and mining, we've mentioned that already a few times. It's working. It's barely touched its 8 week, so you know how strong it is. Looking at XME, you have some coal stocks, Steel Dynamics, Cleveland Cliffs, uranium name in there. So all kinds of gold miner, aluminum, right? And that's what it is. It's a mining ETF, and it's been super strong, and 7% up last week. Again, is it extended? Absolutely. Is this a place to enter? I wouldn't. But if you get something like this, a little pullback, yeah, it's for maybe to the 8 week if you're lucky. It didn't even hit the 8 week here. Maybe. But it looks great. XME. Uranium still on the list, still looks great. I mean, what's not to like in here? Here's your holdings. Again, Kamiko is 25% of it. So just know that the way this goes, it will bully the rest of the industry, right? But again, if you're into uranium names, there's, again, nothing not to like about this chart. Maybe, again, extend it maybe a little bit, but find your spots. Moo agribusiness outperformance looks great. Had a couple of nice kind of sideways-ish weeks, and now it's trying to break out higher again. Again, outperformance looks fantastic. And just looking at here, it's Bayer, Deere, Zoetis, Nutrient, Archer Daniels, Corteva, IDEX, Tyson, Tractor Supply, so on and so forth. And again, we're seeing this overlap in other places because the market isn't broad-based, big breath moving higher. It's very specific what's moving. So again, and the purpose of this video is to find what is moving higher the fastest and be in those names. And that's why you're seeing a lot of overlap in some of these names. Another ETF, which I'm not going to go over, but is Veggie. Looks exactly the same. But let's move on. Silver is showing up in a strong way this week. I do like that. I like how it kind of kissed this and moved higher. Important area right here. So we'll see if this can continue up. And even when you look at the silver miners, a lot of them are also gold miners, right? Because silver and gold, they mine both. They don't care. So there you go. And again, here's your weightings. Wheat and precious metals, 27.92. So that's your bully. And there's Pan American. So between the two of them, 39% of the ETF. But overall, looks like a strong ETF. Silver miners doing pretty well. Also, the juniors, silver miners, also doing pretty well. Love this type of outperformance. And looking at that ETF, which is right here. Again, you're seeing a lot of the same AG, PAAS. What do we have here? There's Pan American right there. Is AG on here? I don't see it on this one, but it's a gold miner. You know what I'm saying? Hecla Mining is in a bunch of them, so on and so forth. And again, these are international names also in here. So if you want silver, you think it's going to start to outperform again, very nice little up, went from $10, $11 to $15, so 50% move, went sideways for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and now it's trying to move higher again. So these junior miners, silver junior miners look really, really good. Moving on, after that is going to be steel. Steel looks ready, right? We had basically 2 inside weeks. 1, 2. Let the moving averages catch up, and then back to the top of the range. So would love this for a breakout. Looks an amazing looking chart. Again, it was a holiday shortened week, and volume was up. That should tell you a lot. That shows you that it was if it was a full day, it would probably look like this. I mean, if we had that Friday, so love this type of movement right there. It went from $50 to $70. Nice little consolidation, and then potential move higher there. That's SLX. And you're looking at Rio, Vale, Nucor, And so these are miners. You're also looking at Steel Dynamics and other things, producers. So SLX looks really good. And last one I'm going to talk about is IYM, new this week. Again, nice big up week, move sideways. Looking at what's in here, Freeport, Newmont, Materials, Air Products, Dow, Nucor, Ecolab, Fastnil, so on and so forth. Nice looking ETF, nice looking setup right over here, and IYM. Again, we were closed on Friday, yet gigantic spike in volume. Do love that. Okay, so there are all of my ETFs that I'm looking at for this week. My favorites, I think, this one's pretty good too, IYM. I might have to add that one at the bottom. But let's look at IHF. I mean, healthcare, if it's going to continue higher, love that there was an inside week. So watch for that. Looking at drugs, pharmaceutical index, again, like that it was an inside week and looks pretty good. Nice uptrend. VAW is a Vanguard Materials. Really nice look to this. Very organized. It's got enough volume in there, for liquidity. Looks pretty good. Silver miners, juniors, SILJ. Love how this has moved sideways, kind of all not inside, but in this range. And now it's trying to move higher. So that looks really good. And SLX, again, very similar look to it. Love that it's trying to move higher. And I'm going to add IYM to the back end of this. Looks kind of like very similar to many of them. So these are the setups. All these names look great. But some of them are extended, so I don't know if I'd want to jump in right away. But these names all look good. So let's get into the final piece of this, which is Trader Sync. So here's Trader Sync, and I did not make any buys or sells this particular week. I think I figured out how to put the dividends in there, and again, they're working on a better way to do that. So this isn't 6% really lost because I got a huge dividend, so it kind of makes it skews the numbers a little bit. And something else to remember is that many of these I've been in for a month or more, and so they're in profit. There's not realized profit yet, right? These are only for closed trades, so there's no it's not realized profit. But here's what I'm in. And again, I might be adding to that this week. I do have a decent amount of cash on hand still. Probably about 40, 30% or so cash, 33%, something like that. So I may be adding, a position or two from some of the ETFs I've mentioned this week. We'll see about that. All right. So just stay safe out there. If you like these videos, again, I do appreciate the comments, the likes, the subscribes, retweet this on Twitter. That really does help me out a lot too. Get this video seen, and again, more traffic to my YouTube channel. So again, I appreciate that. And hope you all have a great week. Happy Easter, happy Passover, and take care, everybody.